Hey Lifetree, it's Pastor Dan here with your Daily Tree. 3 minutes of encouragement for you. And I just want to share something with you today from a story back in the time of Jesus. There was a man who was sick. He wasn't feeling well, and he had been sick for a long time. It says he was sick for 38 years. And we read this in John chapter 5. 38 years, that's a long time. I don't know how long you've been sick, but 38 years, that's most of this man's life. And it says one of the men lying there had been sick for 38 years, and when Jesus saw him and knew that he'd been ill for a long time, he could perceive it, he sensed it. He said, "What would you like to get well?" That's what he asked him. "Would you like to get well?" And the man answered, "I can't, sir, for I have no one to put me into the pool where the water bubbles up." See, they believed that when the water would bubble, that would be like an angel in the area, and that there was healing virtue in the water. He says, I can't get in there, so someone else always gets in ahead of me. And it always stood out to me here that Jesus says, "Would you like to get well?" And the man answered a different question. He said, "I can't." He didn't answer that question. Jesus says, "What would you like me to do? Would you like to do this?" And the man answered with why. He says, "I can't." He didn't say could you. He didn't say do you believe you can. He said, do you want to? And it just struck me that sometimes we answer God with different questions than he's asking us. He asks us, what do you want? We're talking about prayer this week and praying for the impossible. I think a lot of times God says, what would you pray for? And we answer with I can't, or you can't, or it's not possible. And we, God's talking about the future and what's possible, and we're talking about today and what isn't possible. We're so stuck in the how, and God isn't limited by the how in any way. And so I just want to encourage you today, church, keep praying. And when and answer that question. Answer the question God is actually asking us, which is, what would you like me to do for you? What would you like? What do you ask? And stop trying to answer the how question, because that's not what he's asking us. He didn't say, hey, how do you think I can do this, or do you think this is possible? He says, what do you want me to do? And it's amazing because Jesus actually is so gracious that he heals the man anyway, and that's just how good God is. Just want to encourage you today. Keep praying and pray big. And don't get stuck on how. Leave that up to God and trust that when he says it can be done, anything's possible. Love you, church. Hope you have a great day. Can't wait to see you again soon.